Hey, what's up? It's Kit. Time for another video. I'm gonna show you guys how I make an assist hook for something like this. This is a 40-gram jig. Okay, I wanted to make something small. The problem is, might not show up too obvious in the camera. So I decided to make some bigger hooks so that it's more visible and a bigger jig. Okay, so what we're gonna do is actually just do this assist hook, and then later on we can discuss why. To start with, so as you can see, this is I'm not too the sizing convention of this is kind of different, but this is right there from owner. Okay, and this is the one with the PTFE coating. So first thing we're gonna do is actually, well, as with these things, it's always going to be splicing the solid ring first. So we'll take the smallest solid ring we can find here. Unfortunately, I actually took them out of the packet and I can't really tell you the size of the ring. However, this is not the smallest one. This should be the second smallest one. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in my vise, like that. You can see I can still move it around, okay, like that, and I'll go ahead and clamp it. Now, one of the things I wanted to show was how to actually make your own assist cord from this. Okay, this is a 100-pound braid. Okay, and it's actually quite simple. Okay, so we're gonna do like a double. Okay, so first you just twist it like that. Okay, make sure the twists are even. Okay, so that's how you go about it. Now I want mine shorter, so I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. Now what I will do is actually take this off, and then I'll cut it in half. Okay, put that there like so, and then I'm gonna twist it again. Make sure that it's even, and you have to make your twists a bit tight. Okay, at the very end, okay, overhand knot. And what you want this to do is to actually just, or what this is for is to actually just hold the twists in place like so. You don't have to tighten it, it just holds the twists in place. And then we do another one. This is a single hook rig, by the way. Okay, twist it again. It has to be even. There's a long way of doing this, and we're doing the short way. Okay, so it's twisted like that, okay, and then we do our overhand. Okay, so as soon as you have that, what you need to do is this. Okay, instead of twisting it in the same direction, you actually twist it together in the opposite direction like that. Again, make it as tight as you can, like so. This is how I used to make them before I could actually buy these things here. Okay, there we go. As you can see, that looks gorgeous. Okay, twist it until you reach the end, and you'll see that it's nice, somewhat round. And the good thing here is that you actually have two connection points there. Okay, so once you have that, take that off, and then now it's as simple as actually just tying your hook. Get one. Now we're gonna go a bit fancy and actually put some flash on this. Okay, again, it should be that you can still move your assist hook. Okay, and that's not going anywhere. Now let's go ahead and tie our thread base. Tighten it a little bit there so it doesn't move. There we go. Only make those wraps as long as you want your bindings to be. You don't have to tie them all the way down there. Okay, now here's a trick for crystal flash. I buy mine in big packs like this for really cheap at bookstores. And how I deal with them is that if you have it open, instead of actually reaching down, you take something like a needle, a bodkin, and then you just take the tip, put it in, grab just a tad bit like that before you actually kind of pull it out. Now in this case, we're only going to be using, let's see here, 3 strands. Okay, we're only taking 3 strands, and actually don't like my flash to be that much. I don't want it like other people would actually show you like a really thick flash thing, but in my years of fly fishing, I've actually learned that the less flash you have, the better. And you'll find out that you'll actually get more strikes if you just put a sparse piece. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to even the tips up, discard the cut pieces. Okay, I'll bend this in half like so, cut that. So now I have 6 strands. I'll cut that like so. So that is 6. And when I tie this, you'll end up with 12 because you're going to bend it back. And that is way more than enough. Again, just terminate at that end like so. Now, a drop of super glue just to keep everything in place. There we go. And then after that, this is the time where you actually tie this on. Okay, so what you want is always to have that part like so. Bind it at the bottom like so, and then flip it around. If you don't have a rotary vise, all you have to do is just take it off and then reverse it and tie it off. Now see, I'll unravel this like so, and then take them on top like that and tie it off like so, and then cut off the ends. So now this is the binding. Let's just back off a bit here. The binding is exactly where these things end, so you could just cut off the braid as close as possible like that. Do the same here, and then bind them in. Okay, remember we put some glue there. Okay, just to clean up, we also put some in the bottom so that when we wrap, the glue holds the binds so it doesn't slip, and it protects it. So you can see there's a build up there on the bottom. Okay, you can see that. Just take this like that. The tension that you already put on the thread on your bobbin is the one that actually just controls everything. So it's like that. You can see that where it ends there. Just clean up. This braid that I'm using for tying this off is actually really thin, so I can actually clean this up and cover all the tag ends of the cord and make it super clean. That. See, this won't come off. Okay, so there's still a bit of glue there, and we're gonna clean that up. We're going to use our owner whip finisher. Again, because of the length, it's very easy, as you can see there. Okay, there we go. Tighten it. There we go. Now we just put another drop to help protect the wrap. Okay, so I have to turn off the fan just so it won't whiten like that. Now, if you have something like that that sticks out, a little bit of super glue keeps it in place, just like that. There we go. And then we just keep it there until it dries, and then we'll revisit it, and then I'll show you how we rig it up on this jig, and then we're done. Okay, so again, take your wire or your needle, make sure that everything is covered and coated. There you go. So as far as this is concerned, actually you could use really thick braid, or you could even use, if you're in a pinch, spear gun cord, a really thin spear gun cord. You could either just use that, or you could braid your own if it's really thin, or you could actually use like 200 or 300 pound fishing line, and you could just braid it like that. Now it's already like this. That's 4 strands. Yeah, that's 4 strands. Now you could do up to 8 if you want, and it's just gonna get rounder actually. Okay, so now we can test this out, actually see if it pulls. There we go. So quite a good force there, and it didn't break. So there, just with the bindings and everything, quite strong. And as a bonus, you have 2 connection loops instead of just 1 when you have a splice. So quite a good and useful tip there. So let me rig this, find a split ring to use. Perfect. All right, I always put the split ring on the lure first. Now when you're doing something as small as this, okay, especially with micro jigs, make sure that your pliers is up to the task. Don't use pliers, split ring pliers that are just too big, because it will destroy the split ring and you will be sorry. Okay, so you have that all we have to do is just attach it here, okay? And then you'll see that as far as the length is concerned and the position, that's quite good right there. Okay, open up the split rings first. There we go. Put your snap here or your line here, and that's good to go. Okay, so it'll be like this. There we go. So as you can see, the positioning, the length is just right. The flash is actually where you want it to be, because you want the flash to be somewhere in the light colored part of the jig. Now, a lot of people actually like a long piece of flash, but I always cut this like that. Okay, just a tad longer than the hook. I don't want it too long because that actually give you a lot of short strikes. So just so you can see right there. Okay, now we're gonna zoom out so you can see. All right, so there we go. Now, the flashy bit, quite important. Okay, flashy bit is quite important for a lot of people. For me, not so much, because the jig itself is already shiny, and if you're looking at the surface area of the jig, it's a heck of a lot bigger than just that one part right there. And when you're jigging, especially when you're fast jigging like this hook is always in position. Now when you're slow jigging, of course the hook moves up and down and everything. It helps orient the fish to where they're supposed to strike. Okay, but for micro jigs, especially like this, okay, most important thing is that it should always be short, because if it's long and it's gonna the fish are gonna bite at this part, the hook is up here, so I keep it as short as I can, just like that, and it kind of looks like a fin, you know. So I've caught fish on hooks with flash and without. Sometimes there's an advantage to the flash, sometimes not, but yeah, in this instance what we're actually talking about is just how to make your own. All right, so guys, if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing, and for those that are already subscribed, thank you very much for the support. I hope this actually helps someone out there, especially those in areas where it's very difficult to get the materials. And yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.